think something's going down, and I don't know about it. Cops are circling the place, and they even broke the law. They went through the red light when it was the pedestrian crossing. Okay, this was the shot that I was alluding to. There were a bunch of cop cars. There were like 4 or 5 circling the city center area, just going like around on the streets. And one of them, like the light turned red at the pedestrian crossing, like in the middle of the street. And the cop didn't see it. He looked around, didn't see anyone, and so he went right through it. That kind of stuff really ticks me off, because cops everywhere, if you ever did that and there was a cop behind you, no matter if the cop would have done that or not, like if he would have done the same thing, they would pull you over and give you a ticket. And I think that's just so hypocritical of them, to be able to give people tickets but then to still break the law themselves. And that's one thing. If you're a police officer and you're watching this and you do that kind of stuff, I really don't like you. I've gotten some pretty... I've only gotten 1 ticket in my lifetime. That was on a November evening. I was very upset because I had forgotten some food at a church event. It was like a church building like half an hour away, 40 minutes away, and I just drove back, and I realized after we were too far away to go back that I had left the food there, and it crushed me. It killed me completely. And I was so upset. I was driving home that night, and there was this tricky stop sign that shouldn't even be where it's at. And I kind of slowed down once I had seen it, but I was like, oh man, it's too late. If I stop now, I'm going to like go into the ditch or something. And so I just went through. There were no cars. There's never any cars in that area, but then there was a cop under the bridge that saw it, and he pulled me over. And that was like a $150 ticket, and I will never break any traffic law again, even if I will die first. I will go ahead and roll off into a ditch, and I don't know if I'd do that, because then I have to, if I live, I have to pay insurance and everything for the car. So, oh, I have an email. That hippie that you saw with the long hair, I've got a story about him later, just to say that. Okay, so right there, that's the Gallivan, what you just saw is the Gallivan Plaza, which is where a lot of people go, and like they were getting ready for some kind of a music, I'll try to keep this camera still. They were getting ready for some kind of a musical event, and the guy that you saw lifting all the stuff, and I even mentioned in my video, that hippie right there, I have a story about him. My story is that he is a hippie, he has long hair, and he was on the train with me one day like a few months ago, and I said to him, I said, oh, you really give new meaning to the word overloaded or heavy laden or something like that. Because he had this big, huge, giganto duffel bag, and it was like a backpack. He was wearing it like a backpack, and he goes, well, yeah, I just came out of the woods, the wilderness. I just got done camping. I said, oh, that's cool. And so then he started saying something else, and for some reason he said something, and I said, oh, well, I'm a Republican. And again, I don't talk about politics on YouTube, on my videos. But he said, oh, I am too. I was born and raised in Texas. And I said, okay. And then he said, and I was just elected a Utah senator. Or it was a congressman. I think city councilman or congressman. I was like, I was shocked because he looks like a hippie. He's crazy. I thought he was just homeless. And he goes, no, I was elected this, and he shook my hand. He said, thank you. I said, well, I didn't get to vote. I just moved here. But, like, I think he was lying. And I knew when I went down to that area, I knew I would see him. He's always down there. It's where a bunch of the bars are, and he's always down there hanging out with, like, a bunch of punk kids, like bunch of homies with the baggy clothes, and here's this hippie outside. He's just like talking to him, playing around with him. He always does crazy things down there. But he was helping them set up for some reason. I think he was trying to bum money out of them. As for his being elected, I think that was all a lie. I think he's just a little crazy. He was just saying that because he's not a public official. There's no way he would be and be out on the street and all that. And so that's about all for that video clip. It was really hilarious. I knew that I would run into him, and I'm so glad that I got to share a clip of that with you. So, moving on again. Okay, the clip that you saw there was just a little of the downtown area. I didn't know that music was playing, actually, because when I recorded that clip, I had my headphones in. I was listening to The Shins or Death Cab for Cutie or some band like that. And so I didn't even know that music was playing, that Irish music, until I played this clip. And so there it is. Moving on again. This is an unmarked building with the only label being Metro Building. And I see people walking there daily. Probably undercover spies. Who knows? You never know. And they've even got covers over the windows. So it's very dangerous. You never know what you're getting into. You walk downtown Salt Lake City. Be pulled in by undercover spies or polygamists or any other kind of mafia kind of thing. People going crazy. As you can see, we're approaching Little Square. See a little bit of it. Get over here to the side. It's pretty neat. Didn't I tell you of the spies? They can be cooks, or baseball players, or businessmen. It's true. And this is the ZCMI Center, where you can get all kinds of food. It's all the way everywhere. Well, that was all for episode 1 of the series Showing the Town, which is just me showing the people around the town what they're doing, what I think's funny, and just what the place is like. I have a lot of viewers, not as many. I can't really say as much as some people because you can't compare anyways. I have some viewers that are outside of the United States, that are outside of Utah, and a lot of them haven't seen these areas, and when I go back to Indiana, I'll show some of those areas, and you'll be able to see those too. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and look for episode 2 coming to you probably from Indiana. Maybe could be on a Greyhound bus. I might show you some of that. I'm probably going to show you some of that because I'm sure I'll meet some weird people. I did the first time I ever took the Greyhound, so this next time when I take the Greyhound, we'll show more of that, and we'll see some of the weird people that I meet and what they say. Who knows what they'll say? Oh boy. But that's about it. So have a good evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this, and I hope all is well in your neck of the woods.